No
Dance,
problem.
you're not ready for this. What's up, Blaze? You're not ready for this,
So,
Dance.
all right, cool. So my whole point is this: I want to hear your view on why you think it's justified or not, and then
Nah,
explain your
you
case.
tell me your view because I have facts that you don't have. So you tell me your view
No,
first.
no, but I'm asking you the question because I didn't know your stance first. That's what I'm saying.
My
But
stance
if
is
I ask you mine, you
I
go.
rock with Kendra all day, bro, all day.
All right. So
But it's hard for
I
you to
think
have this. So what I'm telling you is, it's hard for you to really have this argue with me because I have the facts. I seen shit that you ain't seen. So it's kind of unfair. You're at a disadvantage because I actually met Kendra. I'm actually with Kendra a lot. So it's kind of hard for you and I to have this. I won't even say we can have a dialogue, but we can't have a debate because I'm
yeah,
just more
conversation.
privy to stuff that you don't have. And so that's kind
Yeah,
of
a conversation.
unfair. Okay.
All right. So here's my view on it. Right. Remember, I only can go about what has been reported. I can't go about anything else because I don't have those additional facts. I always say my mind can change when things present itself. But so far, what I'm looking at, this is how the story goes allegedly. That the 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 mother was out about 1 something in the morning. Her daughter unplugged the camera and let a 20 year old or 21-year old man in the house.
He's 21.
All right. The mother comes back, bangs on the door with a pew pew in her hand, and finds the guy under the bed. The mother tells him to leave the house as he grabs the belongings, and he's walking out onto the front porch with the mother. The daughter says she heard the pew pew, the banger, boom, and the mother pew pew him behind the head, in the back of the head. I'm saying, and then the daughter said also that my mother said if I bring any other boys in the house, she's gonna put a hole in them. That would teach her law enforcement. I'm saying if that is the case, that unjustified action from the mother. To that, you say what?
Okay. So you're correct in most of your assertion, right? However, what you failed to lead or to put in there was that there was an argument on the porch. Now, let's talk about this porch for a second. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm going to give you a vision. I want you to look at two steps. Picture you're standing in front of two steps. You step onto a concrete platform that is about 3 by 4, and then you
I'm going
turn to
up the
your right.
steps or I'm going down the steps.
Yeah, you go up the steps. So you go up the step. I'm just to give you a visualization. You go up 2 steps. Immediately when you get on those 2 steps, you have to turn to your right. That's where the front door is.
Mhm.
It's not a porch per se like what you may have. It is simply a slab of concrete that you step on to walk from the front door down to the ground. That's it. So when people are thinking of this porch, they're a lot of people are perceiving this porch to be like something that has like 2 chairs and a table on it, and it's not that big. You could put one chair on there and that's it, right? So immediately when you come out the house, the step is right there. Okay. Now, if you go to now unfortunately, the only source, because it's not in the affidavit, which I'm sure you've read, that you can get the argument from the porch from is WREG, which we don't like to use news sources. I definitely don't like to use news sources. So now the other thing is, I'd like to ask you a question.
Right.
If you walk, it takes you an hour and a half to walk about 5 miles to get to this house, and you tell this young lady to sneak you in. So you
Mhm.
don't go through the front door, you go through the back door.
Mhm.
Technically the side door because there's no back door, it's a side door. And you also tell this young lady that even though your mother is at work, and when she come and now she was at work, she wasn't anywhere else. She was at work. She worked at FedEx. She's been an employee of FedEx for almost 10 years. But she was at work and she comes home, and yes, she did have her pew pew in her hand because she didn't know what was going on inside of her home. Now, something you said that's very important, and I want you to think about this: grabbing your belongings. What possibly are you grabbing? What do you think this 21-year-old is grabbing inside of this 13-year-old's bedroom at 1:30 in the morning, Dance?
could be grabbing his jacket. He could be grabbing his sneakers. He could be grabbing his iPad. He could be grabbing his pants. He could be grabbing anything that belongs to him.
Okay, so I like how you said he could be grabbing his sneakers. I don't know where the fuck you came with an iPad, but okay. I don't know who's walking around Memphis at 1:30 in the morning with an iPad, but um, the neat thing is that there was an argument inside of the house, and then there was an argument on the porch. And yes, the pew pew did happen on the porch, right? However, how tall are you, Dance?
6 feet.
Okay, so I'm 5'11". Now I will tell you this, Dance. If either one of us gets pew pewed on the porch, we're going to fall into the lawn. There's nowhere else to fall. Okay? Nowhere. Now, I can't really go into specifics just yet. Hopefully I can go into further detail next week if the lawyer allows certain things to be released by the family. Okay? Which I'll more than gladly go over those with you. I have no problem doing that. Okay? But from what I've seen, there were some, and what I've heard, there were some things said that would be justifiable under the law. Now I know most people's stance is, well, I wouldn't have an issue if she pew pewed him under the bed, right? Which, okay, I get it. However, it's what was said in the argument on the porch that's going to have the context. And that was recorded on the Ring camera. So when that comes out, then everybody should have a much more clearer view of what was said, because the argument is the most important piece of evidence here, especially when it comes to the law.
So watch this, right? Let's go with the affidavit, and let's go with the report, and let's go with the news report. Would it be justified if the mother, in fact, walked the guy out after he grabbed his belongings and got to the porch and pew pew in the back of the head, as if we reading it on a report? Would that be justified in your eyes? Before the other thing, yeah,
According to the law, yes.
that won't justify it. I'm talking about
It would be, because the law in Tennessee, literally, which went into effect on July 1st, they literally removed that a person is no longer justified if the person is facing away from them. They took that out of the law.
nothing but behind the head.
Yeah. If a person is not facing them, that used to be in the law. It used to state that a person is not justified if the unaliving force is used against a person who is not facing them. They took that out of the law on April 23rd, and it went into effect July 1st. So they took it out of the law for a reason, Dance.
No, but watch this. There's a part that's disingenuous. I will be with you if, let's say, the guy was attacking the daughter or a third party, and then you put him behind the head, then it's justified. But in this case, when the child was in the bedroom still, or still in the house, and the mother is outside on the porch, and the guy's back is turned towards her, that means that he is not an imminent threat to her or her child. So therefore, if she pew-pewed in the head in that moment from the report, then it won't be justified. That's what I'm asking you.
Once again, you're wrong, because the law doesn't say that you only have the right to pew pew somebody for imminent threat or of unaliving or serious bodily injury. It added something to the law, which is knowledge or exposure to grave sexual abuse.
It had to be happening in the moment.
No, it doesn't. No, that's
it
not what the
does.
law says. That is not what the law says. The law literally says adds
Hold
the
on.
law.
That's
Hold
the
on.
case.
You can't. Hold on. The
No,
law
that's my
literally
point.
says.
That's my point. If that was the case, then she wouldn't have been immediately arrested.
That's not true, Dance.
But go ahead.
That's simply not true.
Right,
Anybody that has probable cause, especially in a warrantless state where you can get arrested off of probable cause alone, can be arrested. Doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to be indicted.
All right. Now, another question I want to ask you. I feel the daughter, the mother, and the guy, all three was wrong. Do you feel that all three was wrong in this case?
I don't feel like the mother was wrong at all. I feel like the daughter can be held accountable, but nothing she did was against the law. But we clearly know that a 21-year-old going to a 13-year-old's house under the invitation of a 13-year-old, which is completely against the law, is definitely wrong.
That I agree with. That part I agree with that.
So I
That's
can't.
what.
And when it comes to the daughter, the only person that can hold her accountable is her mother or her father.
That's what I'm making to people. People are saying she gets no blame. I'm like, if the mother or father can punish her or chastise her, then she can get blamed. They go to no, she can't. I'm like, everyone is wrong. Technically, everyone is wrong to me. Everyone is wrong. The mother is wrong for pulling that trigger. That guy is a creep, so he's wrong. But the little girl is also wrong because, let's be honest, she was being fast. We can't skip that part, bro. She's
No, no,
being
no,
fast,
bro.
bro.
Come on, man. We're not going to use that terminology. Come on, man. You know,
Oh
and
God,
you can. I'm not going to use that
me too. I'm
terminology because I don't agree with any minor being considered that word. Like to normalize
think
something
about it,
like
though.
that, to normalize that word in the black community, which is something that the black community loves to do every day by normalizing P3DO behavior, is bonkers to me. When a
No, hold
child
on,
is
hold on.
groomed by an adult, clearly an adult that people recognize this adult's behavior, because even his teacher said that she had to talk to him multiple times about talking to younger girls. So this was clearly a behavior that was noticed and wasn't addressed.
So watch this, right? Here thing right here. See, here the part I have an issue with, Trucker. When people call little girls fast, people automatically label it as a PDF defender. That literally makes no sense.
I didn't
I'm
say that. I
no,
just simply
no,
said I don't condone anybody calling a minor fast, bro.
and you said that that's normalizing PDF behavior. I wrote it down.
No, that is normalizing PDF behavior.
No, but it's not though. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you why I say this. Because people, I'm gonna give you further context of what I say. What I say. Right. We had back in the days, our grandmothers and mothers would say, "A little fast girl, a little fast girl." Right. Little girls are also fast amongst young boys, and we always call boys hot in the pants also. So my whole point is, just because a girl is fast, people automatically try to say, don't call her fast, but she could be fast amongst boys her age as well. So my thing is, why this girl knew this guy's older. She knew she didn't put a deal with this guy. This guy 100% knew he wasn't put a deal with that girl. So my thing is, she knew that what she was doing was wrong because she snuck a man in the house. So she knew what she did was wrong. We got kids know what they're doing also. This grown man know what he's doing as well also. But we can't leave out the fact that little girls can be hot and little girls can be predators and grown men can be predators. Both can be true at the same time.
No, they can't. You literally just listen to what you're saying, bro. You literally just use back in the day as a reason to normalize P3DO behavior. Now, we know back in the day that parents literally raised their daughters to be given away so they could give them away to grown ass, old ass, sick men. We're not going to act like our grandfathers weren't 20 to 30 years older than our grandmothers. Now, when that happened and you were born, right? We're also not going to act like at one point in time when you had a P3DO in your family that your parents didn't tell you about it until you went to a family reunion or a funeral. And they said, stay away from Uncle Cletus or stay away from Aunt Jody, right? That is normalized in the BLK community. It's been happening since the beginning of time, where 13, 14-year-old girls are started to be raised up as wives by their parents when they're 8, 9, 10 years old. This happened back, like you said, back in the day. This is now 2026. So when parents, I don't think you would do this, but when you have a parent that is teaching her child to cook, clean, raise babies, and all this stuff at such a, instilling this in their mental at such a young age, just so that they can go ahead and allow their child to be looked at and sexualized by older individuals, that is a P3DO normalization right there.
No, that's not what I'm saying though. I'm
I'm not saying
saying
you saying that. I'm saying that is what's happened in the BLK community for decades, bro.
No, I'm not saying it don't happen. What I'm saying is that this notion that we can't call little girls fast because if you call them fast, that's normalizing PDF behavior. What I'm saying, girls are fast amongst kids their age, amongst boys their age. They're still fast. That boy 13 is not a PDF. So by that logic, that little boy will be a PDF because, and we also understand that what this guy did right here, I know it's playing semantics. It wasn't PDF behavior. It's hebephobic behavior. A woman prepudescent is pedophilia behavior. But my whole point is still creepy. That's the whole point. Now, when it comes down to it, right? You brought up the black community, it happens. But also, let's talk about it. A lot of Islamic nations also practice the same creep-like behavior when they marry off their daughters from a young age. I can't ever stand that. But it happens there too. But the thing I want to make you understand is this, right? Now, for the people who justify this woman's behavior to be the biggest big child supporters of all time. Do you agree with that?
Make that statement again.
For the people who glorify and justify her behavior should be the biggest big child supporters of all time.
You keep cutting out when you say something child supporters. I can't.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, what was the word you said before child supporters?
I said Rick Child supporters. I said people who support Kendra should be the biggest Rick Child supporters of all time
Why?
because it's protecting a baby, their child. She protects her son from PDF, her daughter from PDF, and Rick Child protect his child from another kid holding a gun at his child.
Would he had to have protected his child if his child and him wouldn't have chased that 14-year-old 180 yards? Make it make
130
sense.
130 yards. And also, would she have to protect her daughter if her daughter wasn't being fast?
Once again, make it make sense
Make it make sense.
how somebody that is in somebody's home that didn't chase anybody, you can put in the same category as a
You're missing the point,
person
bro.
who chased a child 130 yards. You're comparing the unaliving of a child to the unaliving of an adult. Make it make sense.
No, you're missing the point I'm making to you.
No,
The
no, no,
point
no,
I'm
no,
making is
no, no,
protecting
because the
no, the
circumstances are
logic.
different.
I'm talking about the logic of protecting
The
child. That's
logic
why
is
I use
not
that
there,
logic.
bro. He
Yes,
literally,
it
you're
is.
talking about. It's not. You're talking
All
about
right, watch
somebody
it.
that literally chased somebody down. 130 yards is 390 feet. So to compare a mother protecting her 13-year-old child as compared to a grown ass old ass man chasing a child down the street and pewing him like he was a wild animal on the hunt. It's not the same circumstances.
Let me explain to you what I mean. If we're saying Kendra Scott is justified for unliving a PDF behind the head, and the logic is she protected her child from the threat, who was actually leaving the daughter, then you should be the person that also justify Rick's child behavior when the kid had a loaded pistol aimed at his son. And the reason why Rick Child and his son chased him is something called shopkeeper's privilege. They can actually do this. I don't agree with it though, but they can actually do this. And my thing is, he wasn't pew because of the bottle of water. He was pew because he had a gun on him.
So if he had a so Dance, listen to what you're saying, bro. So if he actually had a pew pointed at Rick Child's son and Rick Child unalived him for it, then why did he simply not get shot in the front? Why did he get pewed in the back?
See? I'm glad you said that. He got shot in a flank position. And that's the argument that I'm using here. Because it wasn't directly the back. People like to see this because they didn't watch the full trial. It was in a flank position. And the reason how that could happen is because the sun is towards the side of him. On the side angle of Cyrus. Rick Child was toward the angle as well. And I'm saying, even in that case, being pew pew in the back would justify it because your loved one is in danger with basically unlocking force with a gun. And I'm saying if this happened the same thing here, then I could justify her pew pew in the back of the head if this guy was trying to attack the daughter.
Okay, so justify this for me, or unjustify this for me, if you would.
That's what I'm make to you. So now we're gonna say we can't justify Rick Child's pew pew in the alleged back, but we could justify her actions shooting this guy in the actual head from the back. You can't make this shit up. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want you to debunk something for me. You ready?
Go ahead.
Adds that a person is also justified when the use of force other than unaliving force to protect or terminate another's actions would expose the person or a third person to grave sexual abuse. Debunk that statement for me.
All right. When the guy was leaving the house, was he a threat for sexual abuse in that moment?
Don't ask me a question.
No.
Debunk that statement for me.
I'm trying to right now. It's a hypothetical. What I'm saying to you is this. To debunk that, he wasn't in the act of it in that moment. She already diffused it.
It doesn't say you must be in the act of. It literally uses the word expose. So
Yes,
debunk
expose.
that statement for me.
Read it again. Watch. Read it again.
A person is also justified when the use of force other than unaliving force to protect or terminate the other's actions would expose the person or a third person to grave sexual abuse.
There you go. Now my actions would be me trying to do that at the moment. Then I would put in that child in exposure in the moment. That's the action. That's the act.
It doesn't say that, Dance. It doesn't say in the moment.
You telling me how to debunk it. I'm telling you in the moment. I'm trying to explain to you what it means. So I'm saying if the act of exposure, right, has left the building.
Oh, it says he left.
The act is not there anymore. The child is somewhere else, and exposed act it's not happening. It's not happening now. So therefore, her act after that is unjustified.
Where in the affidavit does it say that he was retreating?
You just agreed to me that she.
We didn't agree to nothing. He left the house, but where does it say
retreating.
he retreated though?
That's retreating.
Okay, so if the police say that he left the house and then the argument ensued on the porch, is that retreating?
No.
No, what you mean? No.
No. Missing the point. You're mentioning the act of sexual assault to children.
No. You keep saying that he's leaving, that he's retreating the house. So if he's leaving, like you're stating, why is he arguing on the porch?
You're missing the point. You brought up
No,
child.
you're missing the point.
No, you brought up child being exposed to this stuff, right? I'm saying he's leaving the child.
That doesn't mean that there was an exposure or future exposure. It literally says that.
Bro,
it says to protect. Does it not say protect?
And to protect means to what?
It means to protect. So if somebody has already committed Dance. If somebody has already committed grave sexual abuse against your child, and your post stance is to protect them, and it literally says to protect or terminate, right? Does that mean that you're not allowed to protect your child from any future grave sexual abuse?
Now let me answer the question for you, bro. I said, what does it mean to protect? You said it means to protect. You can't use the word to define the word. Protect means to keep safe from harm or injury. So when she removed the mirror from the bedroom, that has happened. She removed the threat from the daughter.
Since you like using a dictionary, please read to us what exposed means.
Oh, you're missing the.
No. Read to us what exposed means.
No.
I'll read it to you, bro.
No, hold on. Let me get the.
Don't worry about it. I'll read it to you.
Go ahead.
I'll read it to you since you don't want to read it, right? So expose. To uncover something hidden, reveal wrongdoing, or leave unprotected. So if you uncover something such as a 21-year-old hiding in your under your daughter's bed, and there's a possibility of grave sexual abuse, how do you terminate that?
All right, now
How do you
watch this.
stop it from happening again?
No, let me ask you a question. Because
No,
you asked,
don't. Why do you keep doing
no,
this,
because
Dance?
I'm answering your question, but you never answer my question.
But
If I
don't
answer that,
answer my question with a question, bro.
but I'm trying to answer your question, but you keep interjecting and getting confused. So now I need to ask you a
I'm
question
not
first.
confused about anything.
All right. So you said to leave. Read up on the game or expose me again. Read up
No,
on the game.
you said he was leaving, not me.
No.
You said he was
Ex,
leaving
read what expose mean again.
to uncover something hidden, reveal wrongdoing, or leave unprotected.
All right, now here you go. Watch this. She exposed the hidden thing, which was the man under the bed that was exposed, right? And then when the guy left the kid's bedroom, she had literally protected the child in that moment. Leaving the guy in that room would make the kid be exposed to being unprotected. So this man left the bedroom and went to the porch. That literally debunks your claim right there because
It
mind you,
doesn't debunk anything. You still have. I've noticed
I
that you
can't say
thought that's why your name is Dance Maddox, because you danced around the argument on the porch. You haven't addressed that yet, not one time.
I'm at the porch now.
Okay.
I'm at the porch now. Is the porch the girl bedroom? Yes or no?
No, it's not.
But my point is, therefore, if the mother is between the guy and her child in the bedroom, and this guy's on the porch, that means that he's not in the bedroom or not in the house actually no more. So therefore,
Dance. Address the argument, Dance. Stop dancing around the argument.
but it's insane, bro. You
Your
keep
your
interjecting.
claim was that he was leaving, he was retreating. So
Bro,
debunk the. So why would the police say an argument if somebody's leaving? Why would they be arguing on the porch, bro?
hold up,
Make it
hold up.
make sense.
So people can't leave and argue, so people can't retreat or leave and argue.
Yes, they can, which is my
So
whole point.
that kills your argument right there.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because unfortunately for you, depending on what was said during that argument, and you just said it yourself, people can argue and leave while leaving. You know what else people can do? They can also threaten somebody while leaving, right? They can also say something nefarious while leaving. So while you guys are saying, oh, well, she pew-pewed him in the head, there's no way it could be self-defense. Well, if there was no way it could be self-defense because he got pew-pewed in the head, then why did Tennessee simply remove that from the law?
Watch this, bro. Threats with action. So if you say, yo, listen, a threat and kept walking and not acting on that threat, you still fall flat. And not
Not
only
in
that,
Tennessee. Not in Tennessee.
hold on.
This
Hold on,
isn't
bro.
Texas anymore.
Hold
We're
on.
talking about Tennessee.
Where was the location of the bullet hole?
We don't know exactly. The autopsy hasn't come out.
According to the report, where was the bullet hole
It
located?
says in the back of the head, but according to the affidavit for Carmelo, it said he got poked in the belly, right? But it was in the
No,
heart.
it did
So
not.
yes, it did.
No, it did not.
Dance, cut it out, bro. Just stop. There's no autopsy yet. You don't know where the pew pew was at all. I mean, the poking was. I mean, the pew pew was at. You don't know. It says in the back of the head. You don't know where in the back of the head.
Right here, trucker. She testified. This is the medical examiner. She testified that he was stabbed in the chest. What are you talking
I
about?
didn't say the medical examiner's testimony. I said the affidavit.
That also said what? The chest.
Well, somebody said it was poked in the stomach. What are we talking about, bro?
No. You said affidavit. Affidavit
I said the
says,
affidavit. That's not that. Yeah, the probable cause affidavit. It says,
bro.
bro,
Insane, bro.
the
No, hold on.
witness literally said he was poked in the stomach, bro. Stop it.
That's a testimony. No, they're not.
Yes, it did say that.
Bro, hold on. The affidavit, right? The arrest report. The people like to call the affidavit. Literally said the chest. We have been arguing the chest for 15 months. The witnesses that came on the stand and testified all said chest. One coach said he saw blood come from the abdomen area. That's what he said. He didn't say it was a hole in the area. He said he saw blood come from the abdomen area. And then a medical reporter came out and said it was actually the poker that went through bone in the sac of the heart and his ventricle, right ventricle of his heart.
We're not. That was after the autopsy, right?
But before that, the report says chest. That's the point I'm making to you. So before the autopsy report in Kendra case, they said head. I know it's kind of tough debating. I mean, having a convo with me, Truck. I know it's kind of hard having
No, you listen, Dance. I've cooked you for 16 months. This is nothing new.
we never had
I
one
did
debate actually.
because you
Remember
kept
not?
running. Because you kept running.
What? You crashed out on my panel and then left. What are you talking
I never
about?
crashed out on your panel at all.
You did.
I did not.
A 1 minute conversation and you were mad, cursed me out and left.
When,
what the hell was that?
when did I crash out on your panel?
In the beginning, maybe like 3 months in, you came by. I'm already told you came on my live. You came, you spoke. I started speaking. You said I was saying wrong information, and you started saying my bad, and you just left. I'm like, hello, Chucky. And then I saw you on another panel, and me and you was supposed to have one-on-one, but at that time, I'm like, yo, I'm done with the Carmelo Anthony
You
case.
kept running, bro. You kept
Right,
running
but-
because your whole stance was that Carmelo had an illegal poker. Stop it.
No, I said it was both. I said it was against the law. Hear my argument.
You were wrong, I might add.
I
Right?
was not wrong. Hear me out. I was not wrong. I was actually correct. I was
You were not
saying.
correct.
Watch this.
You were not correct.
No. No, look.
You were wrong, Dan. Dance. When are you gonna admit you were wrong, bro?
You can't. You let me finish the thought. But I said. I said against the law. I said you were breaking educational code, which is law. I think you're breaking law and policy. The part when it came down to criminal part, I was mentioning technicality of who did something wrong first was trespassing. And I was going down that route just for technicality by saying technically he was trespassing, but he actually wasn't by the law. Well, I mean, technically by law he was, but he wasn't charged with it. That's like minor stuff. And that don't erase his self-defense claim. You didn't hear me in full context when I said this.
Wrong on that, and you're wrong on this. I think you should read S Bill SB 1847 before you try to say that a person cannot be pew-pewed in the head in the state of Tennessee.
Was Carmelo Anthony being jumped?
I never said he was jumped, ever.
I didn't say you said it. I was asking you a question.
So why would you ask me that question? If I didn't say that for 16 months, why would I say that now?
I'm making a point that I wasn't wrong. That's why I'm making a point. I said Carmelo Anthony would be convicted. And whatever I said happened, according to the report, if it's accurate, he'd be convicted. The report came out to be accurate, so he's convicted. So I was over.
It did not come out to be accurate. Stop playing. Stop playing using word semantics of like you don't know what really happened in that trial, bro. Cut it out.
Bro, I'm serious. The people said that this guy, Austin pushed him, or pushed him with one hand, two hand, grabbed him, whatever. Austin made the physical contact first. I have always said that. And I said Carmelo Anthony had his hand in the bag and pulled out a knife. People said it wasn't a knife, it was a nail filer, it was a
I don't care what people said. What did I say? I never said it was a nail filer, a cleat cleaner, a digital scale, whatever.
I tell you how I was right. I don't think how I was right. That's all I was saying. I didn't say you was wrong. I'm saying how I was right. I never, to be honest, bro, I don't know your true argument on that case, to be perfectly honest.
All I know is that
I was right. Thank you.
at the end, you weren't right. But at the end of the day, Dance, at the end of the day, I'm going to stand with Kendra 100%.
That's cool. But at least you're not saying the child can't be held accountable in some degree. All right, you cool with that. I'm cool with that.
The child can only be held accountable by her mother or her father.
Thank you.
Right?
I agree with that. I agree.
I can't sit here and say, oh, she doesn't have any accountability. She does, and that's up to her mother to decide what kind of consequences she faces. That's not up for me to decide. Now, you know me. As long as you know me, you know I don't even talk about minors. That's one thing we don't talk about, right? So in this situation, it's so much more to this story. And like I said, hopefully next week a little bit more is released. and then you could get more facts, right? Because the only thing you guys have to go off of right now, unfortunately, is the affidavit. That's it.
Facts. Facts.
Now we know the
That's fair.
affidavit is hearsay, right? However, what's said, what a police has sworn to, is what a police officer has sworn to. So when more facts come out on the case, then it is just is what it is.
But Trucker, is it also true? What you're saying is hearsay to me. That could also be true too.
It could be hearsay to you all you want. Everybody knows. Everybody knows I'm with Kendra all the time, so it doesn't really.
Everybody else. That's what I'm saying. To you, it could be a fact, but to all of us, it could be hearsay because we don't know it to be fact yet. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, I don't really care what people know to be fact. However, I'm telling you that I be with Kendra, so it doesn't matter what anybody says.
I'm saying, just because you know a fact about a case that we don't know about, being that we don't have the facts to confirm what you're saying, we can say what you're saying is hearsay. That's all I'm saying. The same way how we can say the cop is hearsay, then we can say you are hearsay.
So, like I said, Dance, just because you don't know that I be with Kendra, right? So there's Kendra right there, right? Would you agree that's Kendra?
Man, Kendra, that's Mickey.
Man, who the fuck is Mickey, bro?
That's Miss Mickey, man. No, I'm playing. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. That's Kendra.
But you would agree that's Kendra, right?
Look like Kendra. It appears to be Kendra.
Now, who's this big, light-skinned, bald-headed guy right here, bro? Who's that?
Oh, that's that.
Don't you play
Jason
on my
Kidd.
top, bro. Don't play. Don't take the
Jason Kidd.
motherfucker. Well, I'll take Jason Kidd over Joe Budden. So
Joe Budden. I couldn't that one out quick enough, man.
I thought you were gonna say Joe Budden. So, but listen, bro. I just, like I said, when you get more information, which is being asked to be released, then you'll have more facts.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying according to what I have so far, she's not justified. That all we put out there. If things change and the court come out, my mind can change. That is fair. So that's why I'm asking you. You know more than what we know because you was with Kendra. You're with Kendra. You would know more than what we know. And I'm saying it is also fair to say what you're saying online to us can be considered hearsay until it's proven.
But see, I don't really say too much, other than the fact that both the young lady and the man lied about their age, because that's true, right? But other than that, I don't really say too much, other than I support Kendra, and I had Kendra, I had people speak to Kendra earlier, but other than that.
But you mentioned threats. I'm saying I don't have people up here besides you. We're not privy to that threat.
No, what I told you was the argument on the ring camera, which was recorded from the porch, is going to tell that's going to be the evidence that makes or breaks the case, because it was recorded. So, and I don't have that audio, so. And nobody has that audio, right? Other than the people that have it right now. So once that comes out, if it comes out, that's going to be the major decision breaker in the case. What was said between this argument? Because in the state of Tennessee, it's nothing. I thought Texas was wild. Tennessee is much wilder, because you could pew at somebody outside your car if you think they're carjacking you. You could pew somebody in the back if there's struts made and all kind of stuff. So Tennessee is just kind of bonkers.
Let me get a heads up too, bro. The reason why I wanted to have a one-on-one with you conversation, not even debate, a conversation, is because I heard people say your name, and they use your name for reference when they defend this woman. They said Trucker said the guy was threatening her and tried to hit the hip.
I never, not once.
I can't believe that, y'all.
You would never hear me say anybody was threatening anybody, because I don't know. And one thing about me, I don't speak to things. It's just like when everybody was arguing the video, right? And you and I talked about it. Not once did you ever hear me say, "Oh yeah, he was jumped by 4 people." You never heard me say that, because I never seen the video. So I'm not gonna go based off of what somebody else says or what I don't see. I'm gonna go based off of what my own eyes see.
Everyone, so now y'all heard it here. Trucker did not get online and say this guy threatened Kendra guaranteed. He didn't say this
Never
because
said
people are
that
going
because
around
to be
live
honest
saying
with
Trucker
you,
said this.
Dance, when we first pulled up on each other, I didn't even ask her about the case because I didn't want her to have to relive the trauma all over again. So I
Mhm.
just simply gave her a hug, and then we went shopping, right? Because I took the I took the little ones shopping for school and things like that. Then we ended up at Build a Bear, got a couple Build a Bears, and then that was I didn't ask her about the case
He didn't
because
meet
they
Cash.
who
He didn't meet Cash.
no. Cash be on go with everybody, so no, hell no, hell no. We raised money for her bond. We got her out. We made sure that we called the bondsman. We had the bondsman up till 6 o'clock in the morning. She got out the next day, and then, like I said, I didn't ask her about the case. That's not my place to ask her about the case because one, it's ongoing, and anything she says could hurt her case, right?
That's
So
true.
that's not my place. I definitely don't want her to hurt her case by speaking on it too much. And then number two, I don't want to put anybody through trauma. So I didn't ask her about that. I just simply looked at her and gave her a hug. We had a nice conversation. I got to see some things with my eyes as far as text messages and this, that, and the third. And then we went shopping. We went school shopping.
God,
So, I like what was said on the porch, I don't know, bro. And nobody will know until that audio is released by Ring. So once they get that, if they decide to release it, then you know,
all right, cool, bro.
I
So,
just I just I seen somebody in need, and since I'm there, if I can be of aid, why not? This is what humanity is about. So if we can be an aid, just like what you did, right? You did something out of the act of your heart, right? So sometimes we
true,
have to do that. And I thought the law said that we were innocent until proven guilty. So
bro. I'm glad you said that, right? But was Jeffrey Dahmer innocent until proven guilty? Or
uh,
Jeffrey
yes,
Dahmer ate them people?
I mean he was, so they didn't have any evidence because he shit it out. So I mean you can't use him as an instance. I mean come on, bro. Like he was, he was. Why would you use Jeffrey Dahmer out of all people? Dance. Come on, man.
Because my thing is this, right? By law, technically, you're innocent until proven guilty. But their crime, like, come on, this guy's red-handed. But people say, no, he's guilty. I mean, he is guilty, but technically, by law, you gotta say innocent until proven guilty. I get that, but dude, I found Mortal Kombat skeletons. I found fatalities all in your bedroom, dude. Like, I see Shang Tsung gloves right there. Yo, bro, you are Shang Tsung. Like, nah. And you admit to it,
I
yeah.
know, but I mean, we use technicalities all the time. We play word semantics. We play word verbiage a lot. So, as more information on this case comes out, um,
That's fair. That's fair.
and
That's
more
fair, bro.
facts come out, but in the meantime, in between time, um, you know, this case really, other than you and I are talking about the case itself, but that's not what everybody else is talking about.
No lie, before I leave, bro. First of all, I just want. I told people just now. Listen, man. I need Trucker up here because I need Trucker to explain it himself because I can't go what other people tell me what Trucker said because I know people lied on my name a million times online. They lied and said that I said Emmett Till was fake. I said, what? I never said that. That shit really happened to Emmett Till. No, you didn't. I said, what live I said on? I don't want to tell you. I mean, it's impossible. 'Cause I never said Emmett Till was fake. They said that I said all black women this. I said, I never, what's wrong with you people? They said, oh yeah, you said you wish Carmelo Anthony to be unalive. I'm like, I never said that. So mind you, I know how it feels. So for me to go around and say, nah, Trucker wrong, but saying X, Y, and Z, how would he know this? All that? That'd be wrong for me to say that. So matter of fact, I can check over here so he can clear up himself. I give him his own ear. So now anyone else comes across, because they're using your name online, Trucker, as a reference. I swear to God, they are. They're saying Trucker said this. And I'm like, he put it.
I've never said that Rodarius Morton threatened anybody because I don't know. I don't have the facts to that. All I do have the facts to is I did read the text messages between him and the minor, and that's about it, bro. I talked to Kendra, and when we talk, we don't talk about the case, bro. It's about uplifting, trying to get her to breathe, things like that, trying to keep her spirits high. To sit there and drag trauma over and over and over again to a person that's going through trauma, and it's not just her, it's her children as well. So this whole family is experiencing trauma. For me to be what's the word I'm looking for? Inconsiderate and try to drag that drama or that trauma would just be unbecoming of a man, right? So we don't even talk about that, bro. We talk about like the TV shows we're gonna watch and things of that nature, just to kind of get her back to some sense of normality, right? Because there's enough of people saying derogatory things that they have no knowledge of. I mean, they literally said she had 6 kids, which she doesn't. She has 3. They literally said she was at her boyfriend's house, which she wasn't. She was at work. They literally said that this was a 2-year ongoing relationship, which it wasn't. The first time that he contacted the minor was on July 6th. Some lady said she gave $1,500 to the bond the night that it happened, and and I know that there is no bond until you have a bond here. So, I mean, there's a lot of. You had another young lady that said, that she was Rodarius's cousin. So when she was asked who Tanisha was, she was like, "Oh, she's a friend of mine on Facebook." Everybody knows Tanisha is Rodarius's sister. So if you're related to Rodarius like you claim to be, you would have said, "That's my cousin. That's his sister." Instead, you said she's a friend of mine on Facebook, or Bookface. So there's a lot of people that are just speaking from, I don't know what their motives are, whether it's clickbait, clicks, likes, views, monetary, whatever. I just don't understand what it's about. So, like, most people that speak on this don't speak about the case, though. They speak about, when you go through these panels, and you've literally panel hopped, I'm sure, you hear most people that talk about this situation, they're talking about the trauma that this situation is stirring up in a lot of women in the community, even some men in the community. They're not really talking about the case. But when we do talk about the case, it should be a dialogue like you and I are having, but that's not what happens, because people automatically go to, why was her kids there? Why is this? Why is that? Like people act like this doesn't happen in normal everyday life, when if somebody's just not simply available to watch your children that day, and your child is old enough to watch, which in Tennessee there is no age limit requirement for somebody to watch their siblings, right? There is suggestions, but there's nothing that says it's against the law, right? But people are just saying things that are nefarious in nature for no reason, just to villainize somebody.
That's true, though. Because, like you said, now, before you leave, like, you have children that's 13 years old, even younger, maybe 11 or 12, right? In a lot of states, it's not illegal to have your child home by themselves at that age. People don't understand that, but they don't get it. But mind you, the people that's making this claim have also left their children to babysit other children at that age.
This is typically their first job. A lot of smaller.
It is. It's their job to babysit.
They get paid to babysit. And then even this is my favorite one. Her mother literally said on the affidavit, according to the daughter, that if she caught another dude in her house, she was going to put a hole in his ass. Mm-hmm. And then when you read the affidavit, it doesn't say another. It just says a boy, right? If I catch a boy in my house, it doesn't. Now, I don't know about you, Dance. I don't know if you have sisters, but I know my mother said that to my sisters. Let me catch a boy in this motherfucker house and see what happens. So, you know, it's just it's like people read the affidavit and can't even read the affidavit. They be adding words. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then this affidavit is only 1 page long.
Yo, it's gonna be an open and shut case. That's why, man. She's going to jail, bro.
I don't think so, bro.
She going to
I don't think
jail.
so, bro.
You're going to jail now. You're going to jail now.
I just don't.
No, but
I just don't see it.
But honest, I seen people beat case like recently. A guy beat a case after he broke into somebody's house and stabbed up a child and beat the case. I'm like, what? It's
That's
like
crazy. That's
I
crazy.
see
Bro.
weird things. It's he's schizophrenic. I'm like, that's the reason. Like, now to be perfectly honest, I didn't get into details. I read a little part of it. I said, nah, hold up. Now I gotta sit down and get my workout, get my protein shake on, and then read this while I'm calm because I can't believe the weirdest things happen. I watched a video before a couple years ago of a girl, pew her man basically in front of the cops, and he came out the house. She told the cops, could it be self-defense? The cop, she go to the car, goes get her pew, goes into the house, pew the guy, made her child lie and said the guy had a pipe. The guy came out stumbling, died in front of the cops, and then a woman came out and said, good for you, told you, good for you. And she got 20 years, but 5 years on house arrest and 15-year probation. I said,
Oh,
what?
she got suspended, is what you're saying.
Basically, I'm like,
Did you?
that's
So did you hear about the guy from Arkansas where his daughter got kidnapped, and he found the guy. He didn't call the police. He found the guy that kidnapped his daughter, rammed into the car, unloaded his clip into the guy, got charged with a capital murder charge. While going to trial, while in the course of going to trial, he won the sheriff nomination for his county because he got found not guilty.
all right. So what I'm getting, 'cause this might be
So
a common sense
it
thing,
happens.
because my thing is this: if he killed that guy in the act of a kidnapping, then it's probably gonna be justified because it goes back
There's
to.
nothing that said that though, and that's the
Yeah,
thing.
probably.
Yeah, no, you're right. But he ended up beating it. But he also won sheriff of his county because people celebrated him.
You became a sheriff?
Yeah, bro, he was in the middle of getting ready for trial and won the nomination for.
Yeah, this is funny, man. It's like, yo, that's John Wick. Go John Wick. Oh no, not even Taken. Liam Neeson.
Liam Nielsen. So
Hold on.
you might want
Amanda
to
said,
reread that, Ridge Runner, because that's not what it says. It literally says it was removed.
Amanda said to you, she said, Trucker, this was premeditation. It's just at its finest, just come on, like come on.
I listen. We don't listen to nothing Amanda says anymore. Amanda is just Amanda, and she was Trucker's TikTok clone for like 6 weeks because she changed her name to Most Hated. And so she changed it back after I got my account banned by a Carmelo Anthony supporter, I might add.
But I think you and Amanda will have a good battle. I think y'all two are like, y'all kind of similar.
So can I get the big box real quick, because you know I can't stand misinformation. So for you, Rich Runner. So it literally says here, and see, Dance knows how to read this, and so does Amanda. So it literally says removes that a person is not justified in using unaliving force to prevent or terminate. Oh wait, hold on, I'm on the wrong one. Oh, right here. Removes. Let me unplug my phone. Removes that a person is not justified in using unaliving force against another individual under the bill if the individual is facing away from the person. Dance, what does removes mean? Now you see where it says adds, right, Dance? So it says adds and removes. So what does remove mean in this circumstance when it comes to this bill, which I might add says that it goes into effect on July 1st of 2026. So what does the remove mean, Dance?
Hold on 1 second. Well, technically, I wouldn't know because I just came back. Matter of fact, I'm trying to bring up Bridge real fast because my client is talking to me in the hallway. I'll be back. I'll mute my mic.
Oh my goodness, Dance. Bro.
No, because that's her argument with you. It's not my argument with you. That's her argument. And my clients, yo,
This is
Ridge,
the
pull up.
bill. Are you crazy, Rich Runner? This is the bill. What are we talking about?
Where Ridge Runner at? I'm trying to add her before I leave. Ridge Runner, pull up. I'm seeing the request right now. Pull up.
This is the bill right here, Rich Runner. What are we talking about?
Ridge Runner, pull up. Sleepy, bring her up, Sleepy. I
Is this not the bill, Dance? Is this not the bill? What is Rich Runner talking about? Is this not the bill? What are we talking about? We're
I have no
literally
idea.
on wap.capital.tennessee.gov.
yeah, I be
The
yo.
114th General Assembly, SB 1847, which is the bill. So what are we talking about?
Hold me down, Sleepy. I gotta go back. I deal with my client.
Yeah, yeah, I can't see her in the I don't know if she's private
Oh,
or
now you want to
what.
change your stance. That's what I thought. Okay, you can put me back in the little box. Adios, mio. Nowhere does it say fleeing at all. Amanda, how about you look up the bill and have a argument with me? Because I can't with these people that don't know what. I'm not talking about you, G's, but I'm just saying it doesn't say fleeing. And that's okay to use your own words. I was speaking to what Ridge Runner said, though, which Ridge Runner was wrong.
Well, most likely they're trying to bring up the Supreme Court case Tennessee versus Gardner in 1985, which dealt with fleeing suspects.
Well, that's for police officers,
I
right?
understand. I
So,
understand that.
and you're probably right. They probably were sleepy. But we know that Tennessee versus Gardner is police officers dealing with fleeing suspects. A individual like yourself, if you and I, sleepy, are in that type of thing, that Tennessee Gardner has nothing to do with us. No, Amanda, it's actually SB 1847 because SB 1847 replaced HB 1802, but it's the same bill. But the Senate bill replaced the House bill or the House of Representative bill.
I'm in Tennessee, so I live in Nashville.
Well, I'm always in Memphis. I don't live in Memphis, but I work out of Memphis, so I'm there every other day. And so I that's just why I'm so invested in the case because
Well,
I'm
and
actually
one of the things that, and me personally, I don't have a dog in the hunt. I don't care either way. It doesn't affect me. Um, I do carry pew pew, so it's one of those situations where I do have to know a lot of these laws and especially keep up with the ever changing, economy of the law. Um, and, we do, basically Tennessee is trying to, with the change of 1847, they're trying to closer align with Texas in their laws and the way that everything sees. And basically, with that, from what I understand, you can even, pew pew someone over aggravated animal abuse.
yes, you can. You're right. That was. I mean, if you want to look it up, Sleepy, you just go to
Oh
the
yeah,
easy.
I've
So,
already done
and I
some
thought that was
research.
kind of like I was like, wow, like if you're aggravated cruelty to animals, wow, you can unalive somebody.
Yep.
And then they did actually add that grave sexual abuse, which is the only state that has that in their stand your ground law.
Hmm.
So Tennessee is very lax. They were the 17th state when it came to um, pew pew rights as
Yeah.
far as lax statistical, but with the passing of this bill, they probably moved up to like 8 or 9. I don't know. I haven't looked that part up.
The only thing that I see her having, because, and I don't know, this is where it may become a gray area. Um, you know,
Is a pew pewing in the
from
head.
well, and it ain't even necessarily the pew pewing in the head. Um, Most of the wording deals with an intruder,
So
and with the 13-year-old inviting him into the house under technically, I would think by law, and I'm not sure about this, so I'm just speaking opinion, kind of. To the mother of the child, um, I don't know if she found them in the act. I don't know how exactly everything rolled down, so I can't really speak on that. But he was an invited guest by the daughter, even though it wasn't to the mother. You know what I'm saying?
so just to help you out, sleeping, you can look this up. It's called the age of majority or age of consent law in
Yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It says that a minor cannot give consent. Now, wait, well, hold on. There's two different age of consent laws in Tennessee. Okay, so the first one is age of majority, which states that a minor anybody that does not have legal or independent authority to invite anybody into the house or make decisions for the house, kind of like if you were to get furniture delivered to your home and you got your 15-year-old child there, the furniture people can't come in because they can't
Yeah,
give consent.
yeah.
Now, the Romeo and Juliet law in Tennessee states that a 13-year-old can give sexual consent to anybody up to 3 years, or so like 13 can
Yeah, yeah,
16,
exactly.
14, 17. So there's two different laws, but in this case, she doesn't have the authority to invite anybody into the house without her mother's consent. And even
Right,
with, if we look at the affidavit, right? And she says that her mother said that Kendra said, if I catch a boy in his house, I'm gonna pull a hole in his ass. That right there is not effective consent on the daughter's side. So technically, he is an intruder.
but that would be considered general trespassing at that point.
It would be criminal trespass. You're correct.
So, well, it would be general. It wouldn't necessarily be criminal because, criminal would be he forced his way in,
No,
something along
it
those
would be
lines.
criminal because of his age.
Okay.
So when you look at the actual penal code, it does define it as criminal because he's an adult. So
I kind of see it. I mean, and our laws here are kind of, wild, as has been stated, because Tennessee, they used to have, like you said, the fact that you could not pew pew a fleeing suspect, and that shit's went out the window. But they don't even judge it off that. They basically look at from the imminent threat of serious bodily injury or unaliving, you know, in protection of themselves or a third party.
and the lawyer she has, Sleepy, is the same guy that spanked the police case with the well, I forget how many went on trial. I think it was 4
The
that went on
Tyree
trial.
Nichols.
Yes. So she has the same attorney. So he's definitely so he's looking at the self defense on the stand your ground part with that new amendment, or he's looking at a lesser charge, right? And you know, and I know that Tennessee is a plea state, so but the fact of the matter is that the fact is she got a capital murder charge, which carries the DP, life imprisonment without or life with after 51 years.
Yeah.
And her bond was she got out on $5,000 bond. Her bond total was 10,000.
Can I say something before I go? Because I was quiet this whole time, and I don't know
Hey,
why.
you just jump in.
Well, yeah, but y'all are having a conversation. I wasn't just gonna jump my ass in it.
No, I mean, this is what we do. This is kind of open panel.
Not you was on the swing. Oh my God.
I
Go
am.
ahead.
I just got off of work.
I just picture myself flying over the swing. Go ahead.
No, I'm off. I work in a school, and I just got off, and I'm waiting for my parents to come get me. Because I sadly don't drive right now. One thing I would say is I didn't even hear about this case, but judging by just reading the title, I'm gonna put it this way. And I'm saying this to somebody who's related to a sergeant. Can it be considered self-defense? In a way, sure. Because think about it. Think about from her point of view. She's a mother. She just found, I don't know how old the man is, but how he also he was an adult and there was a minor. You could already tell. An adult being under your minor's bed. Very scary, traumatic experience. And what she wants to do is she's like, well, I'm going self-defense mode. I don't know what this man has with him. I don't know if he's having a poker or a pew-pew. I don't know what he could have. So I'm going to take you out. Can it count for schmurda? Sure. Why? Because now if he doesn't have anything, whether in that state given consent or given not consent, because she's not allowed, she's under the age, she can't give consent at all to bring somebody in the house. Now what? Now it's aggravated assault or schmurda. So there's two sides to the story and two different sides. You got to kind of, if that makes sense.
Well, and so and you may be able to answer this, Truck. I don't know. I heard on another panel that the individual, the victim, whatever you want to call it, had diminished mental capacity.
So, okay, so the teacher, his middle school teacher, stated that she was a special ed teacher. She didn't go into detail about, she did say that he was a special kid, but she didn't go into detail about what technically that specialness was, right? But the crazy part about her was she went in to say that she was a special ed teacher, but then she went in to say that she had to talk to him several times about talking to younger girls. So I don't know what her angle is. I don't know if she was just trying to get in the news or what. So I'm just I don't know, bro. And then his family did have a press conference, and I mean, his sister said it on Bookface, but nobody said it in a press conference. So I don't really know what his mental capacity was, whether he's mentally delayed or not. I do know that the 13-year-old does have a mental delay, and she's also deaf. So I just don't.
Sorry, not to cut you off. Is this the 13-year-old that let the man in? I'm speaking to somebody because I work in the special education field. I'm a one-on-one. So is the 13-year-old the one that invited him?
Wait, say that again. I didn't hear you, bro. I'm sorry.
Sorry, my mom's in the back. She's on the phone. The 13-year-old, is that the one that invited him in? Because I'm only asking because I work in the special education field as well. I'm a one-on-one. So that, well, now I can also see a little bit more where stand your ground comes into play.
Well, it happened on the porch. So it would go from, even though in Tennessee your porch is considered part of your dwelling, right? However, the new law that was enacted that went into effect on July 1st is part of the stand your ground law, not the castle doctrine, doctrine law. So the lawyer is actually looking at the stand your ground law, a new law that we were just talking about, to see if that plays a part in it or not. So that has yet to be decided, though. So I just, like I said, once more facts come out, later on down the line, then everybody will have a better understanding. Until those facts come out, I'm still gonna stand with her. I'm still gonna support her any way I can, so that she's supportive of her children, and that's just what it is. Like
Just also say this too though, because can I also just sorry guys. Can I just also say this though too, because it doesn't mean that he still wasn't there. You don't know his true intentions. I'm just saying this to Amanda in the comments. He still was in her home. Not invited, well, technically invited by the minor. So technically, because by law, minors cannot invite anybody, especially if they're not the owner of the household. He was illegally brought there, right? So because he was illegally brought there, technically he broke in. It's called trespassing. You have to break down how the law works. Whether burglary, he wasn't there to burglarize anybody. Whether he wasn't there to do anything, he still trespassed, which still can give him I'm trying to find the right word. He can still get in trouble if she called the cops or not. But now, coming from the special ed side, you have a teen that invited him over, whether quote unquote invited him over because she didn't understand. She obviously wasn't taught how to not speak to strangers online, whether she met him on the street, whether she met him through the phone, whether she met him through an app, right? When you see here, and it's not false. I'm not just saying because whatever. I'm saying as somebody who's also related to a sergeant. So there's a few things I know. I'm not gonna say I know everything, but I've learned certain things. Just because they're not there to do anything else, it's still considered trespassing. If you don't own that home, you don't know the owners, you're not friends with the owners. You're going in that house illegally is trespassing. But back to my point. Now you're talking to somebody who's mentally delayed, mentally challenged, right? You don't know what's going on through her head. On top of that, she's thinking this is okay. On top of that, she's not being spoken to or conversating enough or having a conversation with her mom to show that that is not okay to do so. So she's thinking this is okay. Now, mom's stepping in because her being working in a special education field, now she's jumping in because safety for her child. I'm not saying, because I'm still learning about the law, not the law, about this case myself, since I'm just hearing about it technically today. I'm going to start learning about more of it. But if you just listen and break down how the mental capacity, on top of the emotional trauma, on top of the other things that come into part and play, then you wouldn't exactly know. And you won't understand both sides of the story, how it could be possibly a self-defense, but how it can also bring it to a shmurda, since I don't know if there's anything else, but I'm kind of leading it to be self-defense. I'm not going to hold you, especially with the stand your ground laws.
Well,
That was her home, but I'm still learning, because I'm not leading to a certain solution yet until I hear more.
Well, so, the crux of the situation is going to boil down to basically whatever was said on that front porch before the pew-pewing happened. Because she's going to have to show an imminent threat or something along those lines. Otherwise, it's going to be an uphill battle for her.
I can see what you mean by that. Yeah, like if he didn't pose a super duper imminent threat, then it would constitute to shmurda, because she wouldn't have a reason as to why she pew-pewed him. Correct, or am I not understanding that right?
That's the way our laws here kind of deal with things. They don't, it doesn't really necessarily, basically it needs to be relevant to the threat for them to be able to use unalivened force in that moment, which basically means, there would need to show some type of, imminency.
I'm looking some stuff up right quick.
You can refer to 39-11-611, which is our
that's stand your ground right there.
yeah, stand your ground. And
So just as some in the comments say the most dumbest thing, I think nobody realizes that things can become, threatening as the situation gets bigger. So somebody come and say, well, her grounds weren't threatened. It doesn't matter. When you have a stranger, obviously it's going to feel threatening to other people because, first of all, we live in a scary world, right? We live in a scary world. You don't know if Tom wanted to come barge into my house or whether my kid invited them or not. He's hiding under the bed. Now he's hiding under the bed, and what? Who knows if he had a pew pew? Who knows what he was going to do to the girl if anything was to happen that she was out there? And he was out from under that bed. Who knows if he had a poker? Who knows if anything's unalive her? You don't know. So it does become not an imminent threat, but some kind of threat, whether it wasn't posed or not, or whether it wasn't shown or not. But then you also have to understand, I also understand Sleepy's point of view because he may have not shown imminent threat, but to them, it was an imminent threat. Whether he did or he didn't. Think about it in that moment, Amanda. I'm not that person to stick up for everybody, but when you realize two different sides of the story and 2 points of the story, you don't know what he could have had. You don't know what could have happened.
Well, and that's kind of the other thing, one of the things that I've heard, and, this hearsay, because I didn't read it, I didn't see it myself, but he threatened that he would be back, kind of under Tennessee law, that gives you a blanket, if you took that as a reasonable threat, kind of one of those situations where,
Right, which is why.
our laws are pretty cut and dry, just like
And this
Texas.
is why I said, Sleepy, that people gotta the argument on the porch that was caught by the ring camera is gonna mean everything. Because
Exactly, that's
Right.
what I'm saying.
Wait, so
that
there was an
was
argument
said,
on the porch, not to cut you, but what was the argument? So that's what I said. I'm not reaching to like a certain standpoint. So I get
we
to
don't know what the
What was that?
argument is, Virtuous. We don't know what the argument is. The police confirmed there was an argument on the porch. They didn't say what the argument entailed. So once again, that
Right.
information is on the ring camera, and the attorneys and the investigators are having that looked at and analyzed. So once that comes out, because like Sleepy said, if he said something like, well, you can't always be here, I'll be back, or something like that, there you go. And people act like people don't say, Virtuous, be honest, right? Have you ever been told by your parents to clean your room or something, and you're walking away,
yeah.
you say some smart ass shit under your breath, right? And then your parents are like, what you say, young lady? And you're like, nothing. Like people act like people don't
Does this explain it? Does this explain what type of life I'm living? That's all I'm gonna say. If I made one smile, it would have ended well. So yes, I know.
So like, people are acting like because somebody was Tennessee is a state with that. I mean, they literally removed that you can pew somebody in the back. So I don't know why they removed that, but they did. So apparently either because the whole passing, and you probably would agree with this, Sleepy, the whole passing of this new revisement amendment to the law was to make the law a lot less complicated to use.
Yeah,
That's what it's for. So
I gotcha. That's why, I'm listening, because that's why, when I see new things, I never jump to conclusions. Like, I just heard about this, and that's why I give my opinion based off what was said in the prompt. But that's why I always learn. Like, when the Carmelo case came out, I learned first before having certain standpoints on it and views on it. But every time a new case comes out, I'm always learning as I go. But see, that's something new. Now, if they decide to release that argument could kind of change the whole thing too.
yeah, I agree, and that's why with people saying, well, she executed him, you don't know what she did, right? And then anything behind a certain point of the head is considered in the head, but in the back of the head. So if somebody pews you behind your ear, that's considered in the back of the head.
Yep.
So I mean, you don't know if he was standing sideways. And like I said, the porch is not that big. It's literally, it's not even a foyer. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like So you remember? Did you ever play hopscotch? So you put the 1, the 2, and the 3. That's how big the porch is.
Oh yeah, no, that's small.
It's like
Yeah,
it's
just a little
little. Like
concrete slab.
yeah, it's just a concrete slab. So when people were like, "Well, why did she pew pew him in the lawn?" She didn't. She pew pewed him on the porch, and then he fell into the lawn because there's nowhere else to go. Like literally, the porch is there's nowhere to go.
Mm. Yeah, that's where it becomes also very tricky too, and trying to
Well,
understand. Yeah,
Oh, I agree with you, Bo. I do agree with you. They do change the
I
laws
agree with. Yeah, I just want to
for
comment. I agree
popular
with you.
control. So, in Tennessee is getting to the point where they're becoming a really lax state. I mean, you're talking in a state that says a minor can get married at the age of 14
yep.
in Tennessee. So
That's scary. They're
Tennessee
trying to become
is,
India. No hate.
yeah, like Tennessee is different than a lot of others. And Tennessee is the only state that has grave sexual abuse in their stand your ground law. The only one. Which is kind of weird to me,
Crazy.
Sleepy, because you say that a minor can get married at 14, but then you add grave sexual abuse.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but the last that I remembered, I think our age of consent is 16.
For marriage, yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
mean, for emancipation or whatever the hell it
yeah.
is.
So I mean, they cleared up a few things, but made other things more complicated.
I don't know. We're just gonna have to see how it plays out.
Well,
Um,
I mean, and the only thing that she can, that if there was a situation, and I'll say it like this: the only thing she can hope for is that Ring camera showed that he made a credible threat to her life or something along those lines, and that will, help to basically exonerate her.
I think this is like unfortunately like one of those cases that you have to wait for like certain pieces of evidence in order to really put it together because there's a lot of cases out there that you'll understand it from like that first type of information or the first few things, but I feel like this is just one of those cases now that you have to take your time because it's not, you know what I'm saying, like it's one of those deep dive cases. You have to wait for tons of information just to really see, what the actual verdict will be until it really comes to it.
Well, and another problem is, you know, and this is the other thing I'll say, and I'm not bringing it up to just bring it up, but you know, understanding and having a comprehension of the language of law really helps when you're talking about any of these cases, whether it be this one, Carmelo's, any of that. Excuse me. I had a cracker go down the wrong way. Ooh. But, and looking at these penal codes, and whether it be Texas, Tennessee, Florida, it doesn't matter. You can't just look at one or Google, AI and think that you know the law.
well, this is definitely Sleepy, the first case under the new amendment. So
Oh yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, but
This
this one
happened in
does seem
Memphis.
rocky. I don't know.
it looks like Dance just left us. So
Yeah, I think he's working.
Yeah, he probably wanted to go do something.
Yeah.
I could look it up. What's her name? Did we get her name or something like that?
Are
Trucker,
you talking about
this happened in
the woman
Memphis.
on the prompt? Her name's Kendra Scott.
Kendra Scott, but the guy
You're cutting in and out.
on the prompt. Oh, hold on. Is this better? I don't know if my Wi-Fi fixed.
Trucker, this happened in Memphis.
Yeah. Yeah, July 16th. So, speaking of Tennessee, did you hear what happened in Nashville, Sleepy?
Which one?
The DEA agent.
No, I didn't.
So he puked you.
Last thing I heard about Nashville was the 12 and the 24-year-old that got into it.
Nah, there was a DEA agent that pewed a unarmed individual, and then they were chasing the other one. They just released that happened a while ago, but they just released the footage.
Oh wow!
So
I'll have to
they
check
said
that
he was
out.
armed, but the footage shows clearly that he was carrying a luggage case, a suitcase.
My bad, y'all. I would have to handle some things at my job. I'm still on the clock right now. And I'm going outside doing some other things. So I'm gonna mute up. Y'all can talk. I'm gonna mute up.
Dance, why you looking like the genie from Aladdin with them big ass earrings in your ear, bro? Like, what are we doing? Are you granting me wishes?
Crazy.
Are
That's
you granting me
Shazam,
wishes,
man.
bro?
I'm Sinbad. Shazam, man. No, Shazam
oh,
wasn't even a
oh,
real movie. It wasn't even a movie, man. I'm Shaq, matter of fact.
It's Shaq.
Yeah. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like I said before, man. I love having real, civil, calm conversation. Good, brother. Mm-hmm. Now I'm coming back. I'm going to the post office real quick. Time you get off, huh? That's 5, yeah. I love having real good, respectful conversations, man. Sometimes they get passionate, but it's all in good faith. I love that. I can't stand when everyone is turned into BET Uncut or WET Uncut. I can't stand wet or bet TV. I can't. So
Well,
my, my
I think it's about to turn into the WWE because Virtuous and Amanda were kind of going back and forth, and Amanda likes to say, "Well,
oh
there's
word.
that." So I kind of feel like it's about to go down.
I'll be quiet. Go ahead. There's
It's so
that.
I'm
funny
Go
you
about
ahead,
said
to
that
man.
'cause I'm
actually
wearing a.
have you drop me because I do got to get some sleep because I got an Uber tonight. But
All right,
Don't run,
brother.
Trucker. Don't
definitely
run.
will be. I'll be in the
Oh,
comments
run.
listening.
Are you
I'll be in the
really
It's
comments
so.
running,
listening.
Trucker?
He's
Running,
running.
Amanda. I've
Wait,
never ran
Are
from you.
you
Stop
running,
it.
Trucker?
Your
Come on.
he
Jesus
is running.
3000s ain't fast enough to catch me, anyways, Amanda.
Jesus 3000s, I'm done.
Yeah, I won't galaxy you off for 2 days. I won't drop a paycheck
Oh
on you,
my,
Trucker.
dance. Hold on, dance.
Dance, he dropped a whole paycheck to drop
No,
me
no,
for
no,
two
no,
days.
no, no, no,
What?
no. Dance, dance. First of all, Amanda, that's not a whole paycheck. Number one. Now, but dance. Me and
Yeah.
Amanda, I got to tell you this because Amanda's not she's being disingenuous. Okay, so it was the very first time I ever met 99 and Kicking Them. And
Hmm.
so I came over to the panel, and Amanda was up there, and at the point in time, what's up, Coco? Me and Amanda were going through it because of something she said on my panel. So
Hmm.
she dropped me with the Galaxy. So Kick and 99 said, Trucker, if you want to come back up, you have to throw a Galaxy. So I said, okay, because I know how it goes from the political side, right? But they said if you want to keep Amanda off the panel, you got to throw a certain amount of galaxies. So I threw the galaxy I needed to come back up, and then I threw 48 more.
Hold on, time out. You threw
Hey,
48
Morgan,
Hey,
your
galaxies?
let
whole
me say
paycheck.
something.
What are
Hey,
you
y'all.
talking about?
When Dan said, he was like, "Oh my God, we're having such a peaceful decorum." It's like, when people say Candyman 3 times, I was like, "How
Now
about that?"
don't do it.
No,
Cause
I
you
love Amanda and Trucker. They know
Hey,
what's up,
Coco.
y'all.
But
Hey, y'all.
Amanda, as you heard dancing high, Coco, you heard Amanda was just being disingenuous. I would have never threw a galaxy on her. I used to throw galaxies to get her back up on the political panels. She threw a galaxy against me, bro, which means she went against the grain.
So
So
he
I
threw
that's
made
true.
sure
47.
That's
He threw
that's
that
true.
47.
she knew never to go against the grain again.
And
No,
I've
no,
never paid to
Amanda,
drop him again.
I ain't gonna front, man. That's like saying I just spit in his face once and he beat me up. And no. Don't leave out the spit part. That's important. So if you dropped him, he came back and said, "Oh, there's a game," and he kamikaze you. I made a wave. Yo, 47 galaxies, bro. That's
And dance.
insane.
Here's the worst
That's
part.
kind of
Here's the worst
diabolical.
part. In all the years that I've known Amanda, here's the worst part. This is really going to shock you. She's never used the galaxy to drop anybody.
And I
I
still
was her
haven't.
first and last victim.
Yeah. Never dropped one ever again.
So don't let her be up here telling lies on me, Dance.
Hey, Dance.
Oh,
Amanda's like
Dance.
one of those trust and gone. If you don't trust, you lose her trust. She's gone.
Well,
No, we just one big family. We argue sometimes, but we still a family. That's what
But
we
I
Trucker
do
do.
gotta
hit
go to
Trucker
sleep.
hit her with that. Are you can?
hi,
Coco,
trucker.
I did. I definitely did, Sleepy. It actually it sounded more like this.
so
Finish
Trucker,
her.
I don't want to wait. I don't want to talk about it
Flawless
now because I
victory.
don't want to give you all the answers, right? So when
Dance,
will
do
you be
you do galaxies
available?
for drop?
And we'll come back
I
to
don't do
Dance's
that, but
panel.
I don't mind
Oh,
taking one right now.
you lucky, Amanda. You
So, but
lucky,
Trucker,
Amanda.
seriously, I don't want to give
Go
you all
ahead,
the
trucker. Go ahead.
answers.
I drop it. Go ahead, trucker. Go ahead.
So let's
no,
postpone
no,
this.
no. Don't
Trucker, let's make a plan to come back to dances and we'll debate the SB. I'm happy to do that.
What do you mean the SB? What are you talking about?
The 18 the House bill and the Senate bill.
There's nothing to debate,
Oh yes,
Amanda.
there is because you're wrong.
Amanda, I literally cammed up. What do you want to debate?
No,
What
what I'm
part of
saying is that protects so that it protects the homeowners from active threatening criminals like burglars and things of that nature. There was no active crime happening, so that SB goes out the window.
it does
Doesn't,
not, Amanda? Like,
and this
okay,
is why we need to
so
have
you're
this
telling me
debate.
that the attorney, so you're telling me, since you love to say attorneys, right? So you're telling me the attorney that's representing her that literally stated that he's looking at the new law, the new amendment that went into effect July 1st is just looking at it for no reason.
Correct, and I'll explain
Oh
it to
my
the attorney
goodness.
as well.
You know what? Dance, I'll be back later, bro, when I get up, man. Amanda, you know what?
I have case law too, Trucker. So
There is no case law for this because it just
Okay.
went into effect. It's the first time anybody has been unalive for grave sexual abuse. What are
I
we
have-
talking about, Amanda?
I have case law that allows somebody that lives in the house full time, minor or not, is allowed to permit entry into the home, Trucker.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
that's the
That's
case
not-
law I have.
Dios mío. That has nothing to do with Senate
Yeah, I want to argue with you on both
1847.
points. Yeah, I want
No,
to argue
argue
with you
with
on both.
Virtuous because Virtuous was cooking you while you were in the comments. So I'm gonna let her cook you. Matter of fact, Coco's ready to cook somebody. She hasn't been arguing.
I
Not
am
you
not
trying
ready
to
cook
put me
anyone.
up to
Listen,
it. That's
here's Bumpy.
crazy.
Listen, Bumpy's ready for me to cook dinner. We just was coming in to say hi. Bumpy, say hi.
Oh, what are you
Oh
making?
man, tell Bumpy to stop being a damn big back. That's why his head's that big now.
You heard that? Trucker says stop being a big bag.
I did not say anything, Bumpy. She's lying.
Because look, no, y'all don't understand. This man expects breakfast, dinner, lunch, all that shit.
You got to
He's
take care of your
spoiled.
man, Coco.
I
Gotta
feed
take
him
care
all
of
the time.
Let's go, Bumpy. That's right, Bumpy. Let's go.
I cook every day, every single day.
I cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my boys. So
No.
every day.
But
Every
he's so
day.
sweet.
Yo,
He's so sweet. He deserves
Hold
it.
on, y'all. Trucker about to leave, y'all. Trucker, salute, brother. Thanks for coming up here and having
Yeah,
a
I will be back later when I get up, man. I gotta drive tonight at 10, so I gotta get some sleep.
So
But
All
I
right.
definitely
Good
will come
night,
back.
guys.
we got a runner, we got a track star. Bye,
Virtuous.
Chuckle.
I am not a runner, man. Like I've been here for an hour. I should have been asleep.
All right, postponed. Postponed.
All right, y'all. I'm about to check out too because I got to go ahead and get started
What's
with
up?
my plan.
What's up, Trump Daddy? Amanda, I'll get you next
I
next time
got
I'm
you,
up here.
Trucker. I got you.
All right,
All right,
y'all.
bye, you guys. Have a great
All
one.
right.
Oh,
See
where
you,
did
Dan.
Later.
Virtuous go? I wanted her to cook Amanda. Dang.
Nobody
Yeah,
cooked me, Trucker.